I finally realized why I gave up so many times when I was pursuing entrepreneurship over this past year and a half, you know, over these past 2 years. And the reason is because I think of myself as a hard worker, and I try to do things that hardworking people do, but I don't have enough evidence built to prove that I am a hard worker, to know myself that I do work hard. And every time that something gets just a little bit too hard and I don't have the right support around me, I give up. I let it go. I procrastinate on it. I get overwhelmed. I get paralyzed, and I just don't do it. And I give up. And that's happened so many times, but I never knew the reason why. But I think now I know. And the reason is that I was just really scared. Every time something got really difficult, which it inevitably does, right? Like, entrepreneurship is of hardship. Anything gets really hard, but the reason why I gave up was just because I don't have the evidence built around that. Like, when I say that I'm a dancer, I feel confident about that because I've danced for so long and I've danced so many times in so many different styles, and I feel confident to say that I'm a dancer. And whenever I audition for a dance team or I dance in front of other people, I'm confident to dance in front of them because I've built that persona so often. I've been on so many stages, and I'm so confident about being a performer, being a dancer. But being a hard worker, I just don't have evidence around. Same thing goes for running. Like, I am a runner because I run consistently. And, they say actions over words, and for a reason, because you can say something to yourself a million times, but it doesn't matter if you don't do it. But you can do it just one time, and it'll matter more than the million times that you said it to yourself. And I think that's where I am right now. That's what I'm doing too, unknowingly, that I'm just building evidence around the fact that I am a hard worker. The daily vlog, obviously I'm learning so much from it about making thumbnails and everything, but more than all of that, it's showing me proof that I can do things consistently, and that I'm a hard worker. It's showing me that I can be a hard worker. And even when I took a step back, and I'm taking a step back right now with everything, like just stepping into that uncomfort zone and staying far away from that terror zone, like the biggest thing is just that I guess I just need to build evidence that I am a hard worker, that I can do things consistently, that I can sit in an environment where there's so many unknowns, but I just push through and try to make things happen. I'm learning it now with my dance group, with one of my friends in the dance group named Elijah, and he is such an amazing individual, and I respect him so much because he is such a hard worker, and he proves it every single day, every single practice, every single audition. He's only been dancing for 3 months, but if you saw him, you wouldn't think that. You would think he's been dancing for 2 years. And more than that, if you see the amount of effort he puts into practice, it really makes you look inward and think, wow, like, if he can do it, I can do it too. And he just has that kind of persona, but I've really been thinking about him a lot, I made a video about him the other day, which was that, like, if I looked around and I said, wow, maybe I can't do it like everyone else, he looks around and says, if they can do it, that means I can do it too. And I've been applying that mentality to him, where it's like, oh, if he can do it, that means I can do it too. And he works really, really hard for long periods of time without giving up, without giving in. Even though in his position it would be very easy to give in. I definitely gave in when I was in his position. It's just made me think that, like, one of the biggest dissonance that I have with myself is that I tell myself a lot of identity important things, right? Like, that's what the productivity gurus say, which is that, like, you gotta implement it into your own identity before you start changing things. Like, if you are someone who takes care of yourself, you will just end up, showering every day. You will end up wearing good clothes, jewelry, and everything. If you are someone that shows up on time, then you will start showing up on time. And I think I've tried to convince myself of all these identities of, like, I am a hard worker, which being the main one, I am a hard worker. But I haven't been putting up the action behind it just because it's so difficult, so overwhelming. And now I am. Looking at Elijah, being on this dance team, it's really pushing me to my absolute max. And showing me the boundaries of, okay, this is how hard I feel comfortable working, this is how hard I could be working. And I'm really happy that I'm in this environment, although it scares me to pieces. I'm so happy that I'm in this environment, especially around Elijah, around Adam, Lisa, fucking, like, everybody. I could go on and on and on, but every single person in this dance group, like, there's something that they work really hard about. And for some people, it just isn't dance, right? They struggle with the same things that I do. But every person, like, they work so hard in certain things. It's really, really inspiring to look at. And I'm really proud to be in this environment. And I hope that I can re-watch this video or remake a video like this in 6 months and be able to say that I am a hardworking person because of all these actions that have backed it up. Because I ran every other day, because I filmed, because I posted a vlog every day for 100 days, because I worked hard at my dance group, I overcame challenges. I'm in a position right now where I have a lot of clarity, but I just broke down a really big identity for myself. And it's really scary to admit that to myself, to say that right now I just don't have enough evidence to say that I'm a hard worker. It feels really scary to say, but it's true. And there's many times in our life where we realize that we're not the person who we thought we were. And a lot of times that's with relationships where we see the other side and we're like, wow, like, how could I not see that? How could I be so mean? And sometimes it's with yourself. Like, you tell yourself so many things that you realize aren't true because your actions aren't backing it up. And if you feel that way right now, if you feel like there's something that you've been telling yourself that just isn't true, then I know how it feels. But right now I feel really, really betrayed, disappointed, and guilty, maybe even. That it's like a core part of you was actually a lie, and you were the liar that you were telling yourself just to make yourself feel good in the moment. And what sucks is that, like, as soon as I come into this realization, I'm realizing that, like, I have to accept it before I move on, and accepting it is just a really hard thing. Accepting that I'm not a hard worker. As of right now, Nitish Bachla is not a hard worker. Nitish Bachla is someone that thinks he works really hard, that tells himself that he works really hard, but his actions haven't backed it up. And he has been doing so many amazing things, like his daily vlog and running and dance, that, try to build evidence around being a hard worker. But it is not yet to the place where he believes he is. And that's completely fine. It's completely fine. It just takes more time, and just a little more time to explore that uncomfortable zone I don't want to jump straight into the terror zone. I don't want to stay in the uncomfortable zone. It just takes time, and time is scary because you never know what you can do with time. You never know how it's going to work out. So if you're in that position right now where you just don't know what you're doing, you've lost a very core part of your identity. For me, that core part of my identity being that I'm someone that works hard. It sucks. It sucks. You don't have to accept it, but treat yourself like you would if you treated someone else. If someone else came to you and they were like, wow, like I realize I've been lying to myself this whole time. The first thing you would say is that, yeah, bro, like that sucks. I understand how you feel. It sucks to lose a part of your identity and realize that it was just all false and that you happen to be the liar. And you don't have to accept it right now. You don't have to. You don't have to move past it. You don't have to grow past it right now. Just knowing that just being a little closer to reality is all that's enough for right now. Just being a little closer to understanding how this world works and who you are is all that's enough right now. You don't have to change. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to be anyone different. You don't have to make the wrong or right. Just accept it. And we'll figure out tomorrow. We'll figure out in a week. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Look around, bro. Like there's so many people around you that love you, that trust you, that care for you. And everything that you are today is because of the people around me. It's only because of Elijah that I realized that I'm not someone who works hard. That I don't have enough evidence built around that. And that's completely fine. It's completely fine. Today, I recognize that. And that's more than enough for today. I'll see you tomorrow. And if you want to talk to me, contact me, email me, put a comment down. I'll find a way.